Hello friends, we are streaming some of the Bughouse World Championship in the under 2000 section. So I started this halfway through the first game of the match, and this match is Nevim09 and HUNIL159 versus Asprag and Nwhitesides. These teams are fairly close in rated. The team from what is this? The Czech Republic is about 100 points higher rated, but still fairly close. Oh, there's a mate threat here. Knight check, and then some other mate. Is he going to see mate? Looking for co-commentators. So if anyone wants to join me, let me know. Still hasn't found this smothered mate. It's still mate. Now he has a rook to do it too. Gonna advertise on a couple discords. So even though he's not taking the mate, he's still getting quite a good attack. Pawn at f6 could be a thing now. And then just start tempoing the queen. I wouldn't worry about these rooks. It's time to attack. Also, they could just move the bishop. Attack the queen, threaten queen takes knight. That could be a thing. Or we could just take the bishop, put something at e7. Nevim09 has a lot of ways to win, a lot of tempos. HUNIL159 seems to be trying to win at chess with rook check, knight there. Okay, he's setting up another smothered mate. Maybe he'll see it this time. Ooh, that guards against the mate. Check team is up a little bit. Smothered mate is a thing. Also, bishop at probably wins the queen. Bishop at f6. Or you could sack the rook. There's still the smothered mate. BWC has had this smothered mate about 50 moves. Now we still have a lot of good attacks. Don't like this move. All of a sudden, Nwhitesides is attacking, and now a pawn is quite good for him, and he's up time. Let's grab this. Okay, that's fine. Gotta move, Asprag. Take the pawn. Oh, the bishop, not as good, but kind of works. Knight takes. This queen is also kind of hanging. Maybe queen up. Okay, that's reasonable. Attacks and defends. But this queen's going to have to go somewhere. Retreating. Reasonable. I think they've noticed the time. Nevim09 playing a little bit faster. Take that. New knight in. Take the rook. Take that. Oh, okay. He's threatening promotion. Also threatening queen in. Bishop check. Good. That's decent too. Can't take or... And it came down to a timeout. The Czech team has won the first game. There were a lot of missed opportunities there though. Nevim09 had made in attacks for like 30 moves in a row. Our score is now 1-0, favoring HUNIL159 and Nevim09. Looking for co-commentators. Anyone wants to commentate with me? Let me know. You can jump into a Discord call, or Skype, or Zoom, or whatever. So this is the under 2000 section, which means the games are the 3-minute time control, and it is first to 8 wins with a win by 2 condition. I would have played pawn at h6 and started attacking there until I guess he's threatening pawn up, pick up the knight. Even though it exposes the king, I still like pawn up. He's sacked. I would just ignore that. Oh, okay. I guess I would still take this knight. Take the knight, and maybe knight up. Okay, we're not taking free pieces. If we take this, we can grab the file. Maybe pawn in here. Okay, he's saving the bishop. That's reasonable. Let's get some pawns in here. He has a lot of pawns to drop. Could also just play pawn at g2 to stay safe. Either attack or defend. Pawn at g2 or pawn at f6. Queen h5, also interesting, but I think a little premature, as this is defensible. You just stick a bishop in here. Getting greedy, taking that. Maybe pawn at g6. Well, I guess the problem there is push pawn, knight check, pick up the queen. So you're going to either need to take this pawn. Yeah, take the pawn is reasonable. Asprag, attack over here. You could just drop a pawn here, by the way, and then try to get the knight in to attack. Okay, he's going all the way back. That's fine too. Let's take this pawn. Oop, this is getting scary though. With the queen trade, I think that benefits Nwhitesides. Also, Nevim09 is almost dead there. It's like a couple diagonals and a knight would win for Asprag. Asprag is down time though. This is a pretty good threat. I would maybe sack this. Reasonable. The problem is, even after like this type of thing, queen at h3 is a huge threat because of the pin. Okay. And white side moves into mate. So we see at the lower levels here, there's a lot of randomness in Bughouse. Like they're not taking mates, and they're moving into mate. And I don't think they're coordinating very well. I don't know if any of them are in a call with each other. We haven't seen much in the chat. Maybe they're in calls. So the score is now, I believe, 2-0, favoring HUNIL159 and Nevim09. Oops, let me fix that. There we go. Nevim09 really needs to get this king's bishop out. I like e6. Good move. Let's get that king's bishop out. Perfect. Nevim09 is staying fairly safe. You can pin this, and now this pawn is under attack. Sometimes they don't see the pin. When you castle your king, just take that immediately. After you take that, you can either stick another pawn in or you can go knight out. But wait in is not good. The longer he waits, the more his opponent's going to get. Now this is getting really scary. Pawn takes pawn. I don't understand why he didn't take that pawn. Asprag is missing free stuff. Fine, he takes it. So this pawn did fall. You can see d4 hitting the bishop, and the knight is pinned, so the knight can't just take it. Okay, knight is no longer pinned. I'm going to either take that or sack. Sacking is interesting here because you have the queen check and pick up another pawn. But probably safer just to play bishop takes knight and then push d4 to get some development. Hey Cabbage, how are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing more awake now.
So we're watching an under 2000 match here. The score is now 2-0. They've been missing a lot of mates, which I guess tends to happen in under 2000 matches. I like knight at h5 for HUNIL. Nevim09 is somewhat unsafe. I guess a knight is good for him to pick up the queen. As long as his partner holds the queen, I suppose he's not mated, but still, I would prefer more safety for him. He can also play knight takes bishop to try to force a queen for his partner.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like HUNIL might be able to force a knight to help win the queen.
Or I'll take the free pawn on g7.
That's reasonable. You can either take the pawn or play bishop h6. Both good. Knight h5. You're threatening mate of 1.
Yeah, and the pawn goes to g7. That's a very common idea.
This is another. I like this way of doing it too. You want to vacate the knight anyway, and you want to try to create a hole on f7 while you're vacating the knight. Yeah, knight takes pawn is good. You're attacking the queen. You're also threatening pawn at g7. And if you were to get another knight, you're threatening pawn at f7, then new knight at g5. So this is a reasonable attack. Oh, take the queen with check. And then we could put a bishop on e6.
Oh, this is very good. Yeah, that's made into
and yeah, made into bishop on e6, then pawn check is mate. Nicely done by HUNIL159. And Nevim09, he castled his king and got attacked a million times, but because his partner held a queen, it didn't really amount to anything. So he did really have to watch out for draws there, with constantly putting new things on g7 and take and put new things in.
Yep, he was fighting for his life with those weak dark squares.
Yeah. So our score is now 3-0, favoring HUNIL159 and Nevim09. Let's get this king's bishop out. Okay, now we want to take the pawn first. Okay, we're guarded. That's fine.
It looks like they've switched colors. Is this correct, or?
Say that again?
Did they switch colors, or are they still on the same color?
I'm not sure. I haven't paid much attention to the colors.
Yeah.
So this pawn at b4 was a really nice move by Nwhitesides. He's going to pick up a pawn from that. Pawn takes pawn.
Yeah.
He should.
What you usually do in that
situation. Okay.
Yeah. Should have pushed his pawn to e5 or something. Ooh, and c3 is a.
Okay. So now you could. Oh, that creates a huge weakness. So he responds by creating another weakness. Okay.
They're playing it like it's chess.
They are,
squares,
and it seems to be chess because there's not many trades.
Yeah.
Okay, now if he can castle, he's going to be a lot safer.
Oh, if he can take that knight, that would be useful for Nevim. If HUNIL can take the knight on f6, yep, and he does, so now he wins a queen for it.
Oh, yeah. Nice. And this is actually the same position Nevim got last game, except that Nevim castled last game. So there was that same win the queen trick, which never came to fruition last game, but he's getting it this time.
Like, I'll save it for the next game.
Yeah, he could have. No, never mind. They weren't up time. If they'd been up time, he could have waited for a rook. Here I would actually castle to get your king a little bit safer. And yeah, now the rook is bearing down. I love it. Okay, so let's get some more pieces involved. Maybe develop the undeveloped bishop.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
move.
Oh, this is a
H4,
decent move.
that's also
Let's
good.
attack the dark squares.
Yep. Preparing to
Yeah,
put
let's stick a
bishop or
bishop
pawn
in
on
there.
g5.
Now
Yeah,
that we're
bishop's
covered by the pawn, bishop at g5 looks good.
Oh,
Oh,
the
he's
pawn at
just
e7.
marching the pawn up. Okay, that's a reasonable attack too. Like pawn at g6 is a real threat. He's got to save his queen first, though.
He's going for mate. I like it.
He's going for mate. This pawn push is
Nevim looks a bit
interesting. I like it.
confused.
Now a bishop would win the queen.
Yeah, so he develops the bishops at d6 to allow him to take.
Okay. I would save the queen. Oh, that's an aggressive way to save the queen. Now knight at knight at e7 was interesting before.
Yeah, that was interesting.
There's a lot of tempo on this queen, so when you have an active queen, it gets chased around sometimes. Eventually, he may have to lose this queen.
If luckily he finds a home on c2.
Queen e4, maybe?
Oh yeah, true.
Although knight f2 if queen e4, but it's still interesting place to put it.
Meanwhile, Great Dame and Buckhouse on the other board, white gets the 2 pawns on the 7th. That's always a very annoying pair.
I think he would like a queen or 2 rooks for h2. Maybe he's waiting for that, but they're down a bunch of time.
He's trying to figure out what to do because it's always really hard to deal with the 2 pawns.
Yeah, just queen c2.
Yep.
Don't like that.
He doesn't like to retreat. Yes, king e7 is a good choice. On the other
now
board.
we might see knight at e7. No, he's gonna move his queen every move. Okay.
Wait, how many moves has his queen made so far? Let me check.
Maybe rook at a1.
Started from move 18, right now it's
gonna
move 25.
Continue tempoing the queen. Finally, we get the knight in.
Okay. Oh, and it wins rook too. It's just waiting for rook c6.
Okay, maybe pawn at e7.
Yep.
Bishop at.
Bishop
that's fairly good too.
He's finding all these chess tactics.
Nevim's. I looked away from the Nevim board, and somehow he has a huge battery on the G file, and that looks pretty good for him. Okay, if queen takes bishop, we can like throw a pawn in there. Pawn in there anyway. Oh, he's trying to trade queens.
For queen trade now.
The queen trade is okay for his partner right now.
Yeah, the big issue is they're down a lot of time, so they have to make up for that. But otherwise, it's pretty close to.
HUNIL is on the attack though.
Yeah, he has good chances to checkmate. Maybe he gets another knight.
There's a knight.
Alright, so knights at g6 and f7 look strong. If he sees it.
Oh,
he sets the queen for the knight because he wants to go for discomfort. He wants to go for knight f7. He falls for it.
Nice. So at least he saw that other mate. That's good. Mm-hmm. I don't like how he moved his queen like 50 moves though.
It was just buying time.
Our score right now is 4-0, favoring the team from the Czech Republic, HUNIL159 and Nevim09. And despite the fact that it's 4-0, these games have been quite competitive.
Yeah, as expected of our 2nd to 3rd seed matchup. We'll be saying that a lot for this week.
Absolutely. I don't know why they're pausing.
They did this the previous game too, I think. Maybe. Okay, they started.
Maybe they were talking in voice chat, trying to form a plan or something like that.
Oh, that's a good observation you make. Yeah, there's been nothing in the chat box, which means both
right,
teams
there has been nothing in chat box. I'm assuming they're on voice chat.
That's great.
Okay, we need to get the king's bishop out. Oh, he's going for this pawn, but this pawn maybe not as important. Okay, so he should have taken the free pawn instead of the knight.
He's so scared of the knight that he traded it off instead of winning a free pawn.
Yeah.
A4, really going for that
That's
bishop.
the chess move. Yeah, and now
Yeah.
he's probably going to
Bishop's-
force him to sack. Okay, the sack is coming. This king actually does have quite a few left squares. To the left though, so he should be able to
the
live.
king can run to c2. It's always nice to have the option to run to c2. Sometimes when the king is stuck on the d file.
Yeah, I like this move. It gets the queen involved. So
no, Trudeau would really want a bishop.
Like a bishop
on d1.
would be quite good.
Yeah, bishop on d1 mates into.
I'm wondering if we have any pawn shenanigans. I'm looking at pawn at d3. Queen takes. I guess we don't have a good place to put the knight to win that yet.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So maybe pawn at e3 is another possibility.
Yeah, or pawn at f2 threatening a knight at g1 fork.
Oh, I like that.
That's another
idea. Good move too. Yeah, I would put the pawn on one of these dark squares.
Yeah. Or you could sit for bishop. Down. He's only down 17 seconds. It's still very possible.
Oh, there's the bishop.
And the bishop comes. Wow.
Okay. And there's actually mate here, but he's probably not going to play it. So knight at c2 is mate. He'll probably just take the queen now.
He was sitting for this long just to get the just to get the bishop. Probably sees the knight.
Oh, he sees it. Oh, okay, great job. Good board vision by HUNIL159. Our score is now 5-0, favoring the Czech team.
This is some prime sack sitting material.
Well, the Czechs are known for sack sitting.
Oh, this is true. Oh,
and I say that because the players who play a lot from the Czech Republic, including Skaz, Alamar, Weir, or Rywer, are all known to be sack sitters.
Rywer, okay, well, yeah, okay, yeah, I would agree then.
I would have liked pawn at e5 from Nwhitesides. It looks like HUNIL is planning on sacking again. I had to guess. But that queen is a good defender. Might try to get in on the light squares now.
That knight would have been better placed on h4, I think. Unless he wants to take on h2, which he's just not doing, but... Like bishop takes h2 here, that would be a good move.
Oh,
Also
yeah,
stops
that would be fun
e5
indeed.
fork.
I like it. I bet he's gonna... Oh, now pawn check.
Yeah.
That's a good move too. He's threatening c2.
Pawn check would have been better.
For sure it would have been better, but it's not. This isn't terrible.
Although now he has knight at f4.
Maybe just knight takes knight. Okay, he's making a chess move, threatening the queen.
It's good, he's developing. If we put a bishop on b5, that would have...
Right, this bishop
really
would have been better.
strong.
Okay, he's taking that. Now we can see a pawn check.
There's a lot of options here.
I like pawn at... okay. Pawn at a3.
Yeah. And Whitesides has a lot of things on light squares, but only that bishop's defending the dark squares complex.
That's reasonable too. He wants to prevent the king from running, I guess. A knight on e3 would have been interesting as well.
Oh, this really beautiful pawn structure. You can set up a zigzag with pawn at b7, or pawn at d7.
Okay, d5 is probably gonna hang at the end of this. Oh, now we can pin the queen.
Yeah, now he wins the queen with bishop. He sees it.
And his partner should notice that and play bishop at h3. Asprag, bishop at h3. His partner wins the queen. Oh, never mind. His partner doesn't win the queen. Partner should have won the queen.
And Whitesides has been playing really defensively. However, his partner is 2 knights and a bishop, so that's mate.
Yep.
So all he has to do is
Yep.
hold.
Knight at h3, and then on check to be mate.
Oh,
And
okay.
they're up quite a lot of time. This is gonna be. I hope he doesn't screw this up. Okay, yeah, he sees it. So yeah, bishop in his mate, and that's gonna be the first win for the American team.
Yeah, with that win, they're on the board, and we have a match. If they're able to find opportunities like this, I think they can very easily come back from
Yeah,
down
for
5
sure. I
with
mean,
us.
they've had all these games have been competitive. Here, through good time management, they're up. The Americans are up time versus the Czech team, and the Czech team. Um, I I think the Czech team at one point sacked pieces, though they did win them back later. So kind of a wash. But really, the time and the king safety on the right board is what decided this game.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting it down. Nope, they're not sitting it down. That hangs a queen, but no big deal.
He sees that he's mating, so now he's just gonna lose all his pieces. I like that.
Yep,
All
our
right.
score is now 5-1. And this is the under 2000 section, so it's first to 8 with a win by 2 condition. Got that king's bishop out. Like the way HUNIL is playing. Nevim09 really needs to move his e-pawn, develop the king's bishop at some point.
Yep, he'll adopt the same setup as he did in previous games. I think he recognizes the structure.
Okay. So there's some weak dark squares with Nwhitesides. There's not an immediate way to exploit it. Maybe bishop g5. Yeah, I like that. So now he can play pawn at g7. Okay,
oh, yeah, that's
natural
very
move.
powerful. If he played that the previous move before he traded bishops,
Right, it would have been better
f6.
because knight takes was an option before. Okay, I would save this queen. I would move it. Okay, he's not treating it as a real queen. He's just taking a piece with it. I would have saved it and moved it to g7.
Yeah, me too. Queen is often a useful defensive piece, especially when it's on
Nevim09
g2.
is getting attacked the castle king again. He really needs to move. The longer he waits, the worse it's going to get.
They are somehow up like 17 seconds though, so I don't know how that happened because they're usually down on time, but that's definitely not a bad thing for the Czech team.
Yeah. Now, if I were HUNIL, I would go after some of these pawns. Oh, maybe threaten a promotion. Pawn at g7 would have been interesting.
Yes, that is.
I also like queen g3. Because the knight guards e2, and we're threatening pawn takes d6, which is now pinned, so it can't move away.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if he gets another knight, I guess another knight or bishop, he can go pawn takes knight, queen takes knight, and then knight at e8.
I don't know why they're waiting. Nevim should take this bishop. Bishop takes bishop, and we can pin the queen with bishop at e5. This is where coordination matters.
I mean, they are in a voice call, right? He should be saying
okay,
that
bishop at e5. There we go.
Very nice. Another idea is bishop at b8 instead of bishop at e5, so that he can take the queen with check and actually invade even more into the position.
Yeah. Now like queen g7 is okay. Pick up some pawns.
Yeah.
Unless he gets a knight. Knight for either b5 or e8, or actually a bishop for b8 could be interesting.
Yeah.
His partner is sitting. This is like the worst time to sit. I feel like Nevim09 keeps castling and he has no idea how to defend the castle king, so he keeps like losing a ton of time and position as well. Okay, bishop takes pawn, then knight takes, then eat this bishop, and this is just like a one chess game.
He's definitely taking his time here.
Knight takes bishop. Okay, and Oh, I would have saved this pawn for promoting. Better to use the bishop here. Just queen takes pawn. That's a free pawn.
The knight's defending the pawn.
No, the h
Oh,
pawn.
you mean the one on h7?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, looking at HUNIL's play, it looks like he usually tries to go for mate, though, so... Not surprised that he's not taking
And
free material.
Asprag just continuing to attack, and Nevim is perfectly safe after that move. Take it. Stick a pawn in. Nevim is safe. And Asprag has sacked a bunch of stuff. His partner is probably dead. Okay. Yep, that's nice mate.
Oh, that's a nice mate, yeah. Yeah, so in general, with that position that Nevim was having, if white does not get a heavy, like a rook or a queen, then there's really no fear of getting checkmated.
Right.
With the king on g and the
Absolutely.
G6.
But trades were good for his partner. And it's also, of course, good to stay up time and not be downtime. Because they were down so much time. If the other board had not been so decisive, then maybe a queen or a rook could have been lost.
Yeah.
But so he really needs to, like, all of the moves that he made were fine, but he needed to move them much faster. He kept taking like 20, 25 seconds for a move that should have been played in like 1 or 2 seconds.
Yep.
So Nevim09 is winning a piece here. Oh, HUNIL just won a pawn. I like that.
He could have sacked on f2. That would have been strong. Because after king takes f2, there was queen h4, forking the king and the knight.
Good point.
Yeah, and Nwhitesides seems to be a very defensive player. He doesn't go for pawn h6. He just tries to drive the knight away from e5 to a square that's further back. Or
Yeah.
he doesn't
expect he'll develop this bishop. Yep.
He's trying to drive his pieces back. That's my
Now,
preferred style of play.
This knight is double attack, so he has to do something with it. He's trading knights. Yeah, still pawn at h6 is quite good. Okay, that's reasonable.
That's actually a big mistake based on the other boards.
Yeah, based on the other board, not so good. Yeah, knight at h5, exploiting the pin is going to lead to mate.
Yep.
But he didn't notice that.
Queen g4 is very, very nice move. Or
Knight at
actually,
h5 still crushes. He found it.
Oh, nice.
Now queen at g7 is mate.
Yep. Very nice. And he moves, which is a big no. But usually before you're about to get mated, you should look at the other board and make sure that you're actually down on time, because if we're up on time,
and they were up about 15 seconds. Although I don't think his partner really had winning chances here. So
yeah, that's true.
Not that bad moving. Our score is now 7-1. This may be match point. 7-1 favoring the team from the Czech Republic, Nevim09 and HUNIL159. Ooh, that creates a weakness on c7. I don't like this pawn push. It's a very chessy move, and it just doesn't work in Bughouse. The pawn is just crushing here. The knight is also good. He's gonna just take the rook. And now bishop takes knight is a threat. Also, if he gets another pawn for c7. So really this knight needs to move somewhere. That's reasonable. Although pawn c7 is still good. This is good as well. Now you can take the knight and take the other knight. Bishop takes knight, or stick a pawn on c7 if he gets a pawn. I don't like that. That is not a good move.
He rescues his knight from what? I don't know.
He does. Yeah, bishop takes bishop, then can bring his knight out, I guess. At least tempo the queen a bit.
Yep.
So Nwhitesides seems to have a pretty safe king, and he's trying to get a spatial advantage by penetrating on the dark squares on HUNIL159. I don't know why Nevim is sitting. Yeah, let's get the knight out. And now,
I think he's thinking.
Now, bishop check, we can pick up the knight. which we should have won before. Bishop at d6.
He'll definitely see it if he has a pawn in hand, but okay, good. He sees that.
Let's take the knight. That's a free
He
knight.
might take the bishop. Oh, okay. He took the knight. Taking the bishop would be interesting too, because if he takes with the queen, then a new bishop wins the queen.
Yeah, that would have worked as well. Okay, let's just take this knight before it gets any ideas. We want to move our king's bishop out anyway.
Yep.
Nwhitesides could sack here. Just knight takes f7. He's up enough time that I think he can count on a few pieces to come. But of course he's making a random defensive move. Asprag trying to pick up the queen. King up, I think is viable actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nil has castled to safety. And Nwhitesides continuing to play chessy attacking moves.
Yep. Let's trade the bishop for partner.
Ooh.
And a knight.
Okay.
That's strong, yeah. So now he can recycle actually, because he has a second pair of knight and diag. So knight c1, take, and then bishop at d2 once he takes the bishop.
This bishop? There we go. Yeah, bishop at d2 would be interesting, though a pawn would be better, of course.
Yep, and then the new knight at c1.
Anil is up a boatload of pieces, and he should try to get them on the board.
Before he flags? Yeah, that's true. A cool idea here, or a cool setup that people usually do, is they put a bishop on e4. And with a knight and a rook in hand, this threatens a knight h3 idea. Which is, if you take on h3, then there's rook at h1. And if you move the king to h1, then there's rook at g1 in the smothered mate pattern. Another thing that HUNIL can go
on the attack, but they are down in eternity. Bishop at c5 could be interesting. Okay, I like this pawn move. So we're tempoing the queen and take the knight and exposes the king somewhat. Oh, that's interesting too. I think
that's good.
And they trade queens. I think his partner can live. So it's like queen at d8 is a pretty good threat though.
I think it's a good decision.
He can't live now. If they traded a queen. Okay. Okay, bishop at e5 is a natural move. Oh, he's just taking that.
Oh, now we'll see which team plays
this is like a Patzer check. This doesn't really accomplish anything. I think Asprag is fairly dead now.
We're entering the realm of a flag battle, so
yeah, the bishop covers the square.
So whoever is able to play faster ends up winning. Unless HUNIL finds checkmate, which he probably could. But they're down 10 seconds and they only have 9 seconds left. Oh, and he finds it. Okay.
Okay. So this is mate. Nice. Bishop takes bishop, knight check. This works too. Yeah. Pawn and mates. So it's good that he's sitting. He's hoping his partner flags or mates, but his partner's not moving. So
Nwhitesides is doing a good thing. He's sitting when he's mated, but yeah, it's not mattering.
And I believe that is 8-1. So that was match point. They're saying GG's. Wow. Let's say GG's.
That was a blowout.
Final score. Yeah, I expected it to be closer as far as the final score. But again, a lot of those were close games.
Yeah.
Okay, final score 8-1. Favoring HUNIL159 and Nevim09. So thank you everyone for watching. I like how they're being polite in the chat. They're saying GG's, they're saying thanks, they're saying good luck with the rest of your tournament. So, polite stuff going on there. So, let me check the calendar real quick, but I don't think there's anything else coming up. Yeah, I don't see any other Bughouse World Championship matches today. There are some tomorrow that we will try to cover. Tomorrow at noon, we have Chess Brainiac and Bughouse Knight versus Rust Magic. And Hui.
I don't know how to
I guess.
pronounce
I don't know how to pronounce that. And at 3 p.m., we have Buzzer and Cheben Kozlov versus Blix LT and Xerxes LT. That should be a fun match. And at the same time, there is also one in under 2000 section, 3 p.m. Friday. We have Lachlan Quay and Ferrari Fan 27 versus Morphe versus Fisher and Arya Patel Core 5. So that could be a fun one to watch as well. I'm going to end the stream at this point. We're going to find someone to raid. I think we're going to send you guys over to Jonas Rath again, because I believe he's still streaming. Jonas Rath streams 4-player chess, so check him out, drop a follow. He's a little bit rusty, but he's gaining back stream. He was playing some solo. So I really appreciate everyone watching. Thank you to Cabbage for the commentary. If anyone's not followed yet, I'd appreciate a follow so you get notified of my future my future streams. I mostly stream Bughouse, which is this game. We also stream some 4-player chess, Puzzle Rush Puzzle Battle, and some other variety games. Be sure to drop Jonas a follow as well when you get to his stream. He's a very strong player, and I've learned a lot by watching his streams. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Bye.